Virtually everything in Revit has properties associated with it. The properties of what material it's made out of, or just the properties of what level it's supposed to be on, such as the first floor or the second floor. Properties are vital when you're putting together your Revit model. What I'll do is go to the project browser and then go to my level 1 floor plan view. Then zoom in to this part of my building. Then, without clicking, spinning the wheel on my mouse. Wherever you have your arrow pointed at, if you spin the wheel of your mouse forward, you'll zoom into that object, or if you spin the wheel of your mouse backward, you'll zoom away from that object. For this example, I'd like to take a look at this door number 105. Move your cursor over the door. When it turns blue, click to select on the door. We'll then see the properties of the door underneath Properties. Some of the properties that are associated with the door include the level that it's on, how high off of that level it may exist, if there's any materials associated with the door, more information related to that door, as well as the mark number for the door, which in this case means door number 105. We can see that underneath the properties. But there's another kind of property as well. The properties that we see underneath properties are called instance properties, which means this specific door is door number 105. But there are also type properties associated with objects. After clicking on Edit Type, it'll open up the Type Properties dialog box. And we can see underneath Type Properties, this type of door is a M double dash flush door of a certain size. In this case, it's in millimeters because this is a metric drawing. We can see that the door has interior function associated with it. We can see what the actual materials of the door are made of, just a door panel material, as well as the overall dimensions of the door and other properties that can be associated with a door. Now, what's important to know is if I would change any of the type properties of the door, then this door type would change throughout the entire project. So if I made the door either shorter or more narrow, then the door throughout the entire project of this type would then change. So they would have those dimensions as well. But the instance properties would only change the properties for this specific door. What I'll do is I'll just click on OK, select on this door. Door number 103 and door number 104 are actually the exact same door. And if we select on door number 103, we can then see that it's a single flush door, 800 by 2100. Now you don't have to deselect off of that door. I just want to show to you that door number 104 is also an 800 by 2100 door. Now if we change the type properties of one of these doors, it'll change both doors. Select on door 103 and then go to Edit Type. What I'd like to do now is change maybe the thickness of the door. So instead of being 50, let's make it substantially thicker so we could see the overall thickness of the door change. Let's make it 80 instead, and then click on Apply. When you do that, you'll notice this door here and here is now substantially thicker than what it was before. If we change it back to 50, click on Apply, we can see that both doors' thicknesses have adjusted back down, so they're now 50 thick. But that's because it's a type property. Any properties that you change underneath type properties affect that type of door universally throughout your project. If we click on OK to that, we can also see that this is door number 103, and because it has the mark 103. If we change that information in here to be 703, this is now door 703. But it did not change that door number for the other door, and that's because it's an instance property. Each door can be unique. So what I'd like to do now is switch this door back over from being 703 to 103. And if I wanted to change door number 104 to be a different number, all I would need to do is select on door number 104, find its mark number, and then change it, maybe 704. Now we can see that its number has changed. Also, we can change that information in more than one location. For instance, if I wanted to change the door number while I was inside of the plan view, I could do that as well. I can click on the tag where it has 704 and then change the 7 back to a 1, and then just click off of it somewhere out in this area. When we do that, we can now see that door number 104 has changed, and it's now 104 over here as well. If we had a door schedule open, we'd be able to see that that 103 and 104 had also changed inside of the door schedule itself. So no matter where you make that change to the properties, it will update that Revit family to reflect the correct information. Remember that there are two different kinds of properties. There's an instance property, which will affect just that specific thing, such as this door. But then there are type properties by clicking on Edit Type, which will affect all the doors or all the families of that type. Finally, if you ever want to get out of these dialog boxes without changing any information at all, click on the Cancel button and then maybe hit Escape a couple of times on the keyboard to get out of your selection to get out of changing the properties of that particular thing.